All right. In this video, I want to talk about what you see here, narcissism and religion. Namely, narcissism and Christianity, or so-called Christianity. Because I was watching a video this morning, and this lady was saying, should you warn the new supply of the narcissist about the person being a narcissist? And they were saying no, because remember that people were warning you and you didn't believe it. So you got to let people go through it. And I completely understand that. Right? Because my point of view is do what you want to do, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You see, if you don't warn them, right, then they get burned by the narcissist. Then they blame you for not warning them, and they get mad at you for not saying anything, right? And now you're part of the reason why they got fooled, right? But then if you do warn them, they might look at you as jealous of their relationship with the narcissist, and they might look at you as the enemy, and they still have to go through it. And then sometimes after they get burned by the narcissist, they're too ashamed to come to you and admit you were right. Right? So it's kind of like, do what you're going to do, right? All I would say is hope for the best and prepare for the worst, because if you warn them, right, don't expect them to heed the warning, right? All right? If they do, okay. All right? But if not, don't let it get to you. And if you decide not to warn them, then, prepare to deal with whoever it is you tried to warn, going through that, and you might have to deal with it as well, depending how close your relationship is to that person. And, it just is what it is, right? And while I was hearing this and thinking about it, I was like, you know what? This is a lot like narcissism and religion, because a good chunk of Christianity is actually narcissistic. And it's so good that God is waking people up to narcissists, because now it allows you to understand how a good chunk of Christianity, such as Roman Catholicism, is completely and totally narcissistic, right? And it's one of those things, well, should you warn them or should you not? Right? And it's the same dilemma. Should you warn the Catholics about all the BS from Catholicism and how it's narcissistic? You do. They look at you as if you're fighting the one true church, and you're demonic. You're of the devil trying to fight God's church. And it's like, well, dang. I'm trying to warn you of how they're pretending to be God's church. And I'm evil for doing so. I haven't done anything wrong, though. But, all right. And then, if you don't say anything, well, you just let them go along in their error, and then they go off to hell, and you didn't do anything, right? So it's a dang if you do, dang if you don't kind of thing, right? What are you going to do about it? You see how it's the same dilemma? The same exact thing? Like these people who go after a false gospel. Well, should you say something or shouldn't you? And my point of view is whatever you want to do. My point of view these days, I spend a lot of time warning people of narcissists and narcissistic individuals that I know of, and I warned them about narcissistic religions like Roman Catholicism, for example. And, you get a lot of backlash. So now I just wait for receptive people. When they start to understand, hey, this person, there's something wrong with them, right? Because they're never wrong. They can't be questioned, right? If there's an issue, it's just because you're just too dumb and stupid to understand, right? Because they're above you and you're below them. And they need to get you to believe that. And that's how narcissists operate. And that's exactly how the Roman Catholic Church operates. In the same exact way. And when these people start to see narcissism, then you can use that to show them things like, well, yeah, that's why you got to watch out for the biggest narcissist, the Roman Catholic Church. Right? It's just full of them because the narcissists, they think they're good enough as they are. That God should just accept them as they are. They don't need to change. Right? Well, God says, come to me as you are, but don't expect to stay as you are. You need to be born again. You need to change. The old man has to be crucified with Christ, and you have to be made anew from the inside out because there's something wrong with all of us. And the narcissist is like, no, there's nothing wrong with me. Basically saying they're perfect. I should be accepted as I am. And then to justify this, they have all these religious rituals and works they've done. To be like, see, I'm holier. Look at me, God. Look at all I'm doing for you. Look at all my fruit. I'm not like everybody else. I'm better than them. Right? They're building up their Tower of Babel of confusion and self-righteousness to say, I'm not like everybody else. I don't deserve hell like they do. Right? Like Roman Catholicism. Like a narcissist. And then they have the gall to be like, yeah, and God, you can just let me into heaven because I'm a moral equal to you. I'm good like you are. As they build their tower up saying, I'm not breaking into heaven. You should be open the doors to me because I'm on par with you when only God is good. And they're blind to their pride and their arrogance and their egotistical nature and how they're being just like Satan himself and thinking that they can be like God and exalt themselves to the stars, to the throne of God. And they don't see it because they don't look in the mirror, right? When you point out the issues with a narcissist, you'll notice that they're always like, well, it's your fault. The reason why I said this was because of you. The reason why I did this was because of you, right? And they always deflect and sidetrack to something else because they won't look in the mirror. They won't look at themselves, right? The same thing when you talk to Roman Catholics. You bring up these issues, they'll say, well, Protestants did the same thing here and there and there. And it's like, how does that make it okay? Right? You bring up, these priests that diddled children and your church protected them. Well, the Protestants over here, they did it. And it's like, okay, how does that make it okay? You see, they just ignore the fact of what's going on. They won't look in the mirror and face the truth. And they'll just point the finger at somebody else. And then somehow they believe they're good, godly people in a good, godly church, and they don't deserve hell, and they deserve heaven, and that's where they're going. I could get a little deeper into this, but I've talked about this here and there in other videos, and I wanted to keep this one a little shorter. To be able to put this one on TikTok there. So, that's that. Thank you for watching and your time and attention. Take care. May God bless you and yours, and I'll see you in the next one.